G'day guys, welcome back. I'm going to use my new Terrace coaster mold today, my round one. I've also got one that's got square cavities, but this is the round one. If you saw the video I did on this one, this is sand, real sand, and I poured it into my mold, and then I put white around the terraces and I poured clear in. But today I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I'm sort of doing it in reverse. This was a little test piece that I did ages ago with some lightly tinted resin poured in first, and then I filled the center up with the sand, same as that. So that's what I got there, and I really like that effect. And I'm going to do it again today with these, but instead of that brownish color sand, I've got some whitish color sand. And I'm going to put a very, very pale blue tint in. Not sure if it's going to be like this. This is kind of a tealy tint. I'm going to do that. And also I'm going to add a little whale. But because I'm using white sand, I'm going to spray paint my whales black. So that's them there. They're cute, aren't they? And I'm just going to take them outside later and put some gloss black spray paint on them. So that's what that's going to be. Put them out of the way, my little whales. So for today, all I'm going to do is put in my very, very transparent blue. Make sure that this is clean. So I'm going to use probably this one here, the Ocean Resin tint. If it looks a little bit too teal, I'll put a teensy tiny little bit of that in. But that's the sort of color it's given me, a mix of the two, and that's too blue. I think it's always good to do a little test first. So that's a little bit too blue. This is this one, it's very, very strong, the lapis from Resin. So I might just add it, maybe I'll even just use that, we'll see. So before we get started, we need to spray these with alcohol. This is one that I did, the very first one I did, and I did not spray it with alcohol. I'm going to come up behind the camera and see if I can zoom you in and show you what happens if you don't spray it with alcohol. Look at the bubbles. I did not spray this one. And this is kind of what taught me, hey, I better spray them with alcohol. But you know, because it's an intricate mold, and a lot of molds are quite intricate these days, it's always best to use a really, really low viscosity or thin resin, as thin as you can get it, like water. Okay, that way it kind of goes into all the little crevices. The bubbles can come up really easily and release. If you're using a thicker resin, they kind of slowly come up as if they're coming through honey or corn syrup, and it's a little bit hard to pop them. So go with a really thin resin. I'm going to spray them. I've got my resin in here, little misting bottle, and it's just 100% isopropyl alcohol that I've got in here. So let's get to it. I think I've cleaned it nicely with the tape. I'm going to just do one at a time. I'm going to spray and try and get like that way and that way and that way and that way. Try and get all of it. Oh my God, I haven't put the color in yet. Julie. Oh my gosh. All right. This is Ocean Resin Tint by Color Passion. Now I'm going to go really slowly with this. I'm just going to see what happens. That's one drop. Last thing I want to do is go too dark. I'd rather it be a little bit paler. Look at that. That's one drop. Look at that. Now to test it, you can just put it on a little bit of paper towel. So that doesn't look very dark at all. In here it looks dark because it's a deep cup. Now these are 12 millimeters deep, about half an inch. Okay, so that needs a little bit more. I'm going to put a tiny bit of this in. Actually, I'll pour it in. It's not much there. I'll pour that in. So it's just going to take me a little bit of time just to work out exactly what shade I want. Clean up my mess. Now, because, like I said, this is a really deep cup, so it looks deeper. The other thing you can do, I'll use this, I'll clean this out, and then I'll pour some back into this, about the same depth as what that is. And we'll see what it's actually going to look like. So you can't even see that. So it's not ready yet. So just be careful when you're mixing colours. If you want something really pale, just go slow. Let's do another 2 drops. I think there's 2 drops there, 1 or 2. So see how much darker that's looking? I'll put it over the white so that you can see it. Alright, so we'll put a little bit more in here. And again, can't really see that colour very much. Go another drop. Oh my gosh, I've spilt on my mold. So just bear with me, like, you know, for those of you that don't want to watch me do this, then that's fine. But if you want to learn how to get your very, very transparent colour, don't fast forward, and we'll do it together and see how we go, hey? Because like I said, this is a deep cup, so it's going to look darker. So that was 3 drops. Put a little bit more in. Take it up to about the same depth as I would have on my coaster. So that's it there. Look at that. You can see against the white. Look how different that looks. Oh gosh. All right, let's do one more. One more. That's it. One more tiny little drop, and that should be plenty. Pour that back. Nearly there. I just realised I was supposed to keep some of this clear resin for another project, and now I've just mixed it all. Oh gosh. Oh. I get carried away when I start my videos. I just think, all right, let's go, and then I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. I was supposed to keep some of it for my 3D flower. I thought if I had a little bit left over, I'd make a 3D flower out of it. Guess I could make a blue background 3D flower. Oh gosh. All right, so that'll be it. Now, I think that alcohol's probably all evaporated. Let me make sure that we're still taping. Oh, sorry, I'm 7 minutes already. I haven't even started. Sorry. All right. Get that little dot out. Make sure there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there. Okay, here we go. Pouring. Oh, that's a pretty colour. I like that. Pretty, pretty. So for this first step, all we're going to do is bring that right up to the top of the mold cavity. Want it nice and full over this top terrace. Right, so that's that one. Huh. I guess I could have got away with not putting that little last drop in, but I wanted it to look blue, not just clear. All right, next one. So if you've got any little bits and pieces of debris in here, you will see it. So make sure you pick anything out. Make sure that your table is nice and level. All right, that's that one done. So this is 2 cups of resin that I've mixed up. I was looking back on my records to see how much I used in the last one, but I couldn't find it. I don't know what I've done with it. So it's probably, because I know last time I did it, I didn't make up enough, and I said to you, oh, I've got to stop and make up another 2 ounces of resin. So I thought this time I'm just going to make up some more, because I looked back on my video, but I don't remember actually seeing where I told you all how much I used. So I just made up a little bit of extra this time. Probably just as well, because I haven't got any left for my 3D flower. Look at that. Right, that's 2 cups. Now, I'm just going to look across the top and make sure that they're all even. I stand back here and look across into my window, which is just over there. I'm going to push it to the limit and put as much as I can in, because I want a good layering over that top terrace. And the resin does sort of shrink away from the sides a little bit as well when it dries. That's it. Look at that. Perfect timing. Perfect amount, I should say. All right. Now, quick little torch. Again, don't get too close with your torch. Actually, I shouldn't do that because this, I should not do that. This top piece here of silicone is only just underneath the resin, like it's 3 mil deep. So, yeah, don't torch. Just do this. Spritz, 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 spritz. And something in there. All right, now the other thing you can do is, let me just grab one of these little doobalackies. It's a little stick with a cotton wool ball thingy on the end. Now what you can do, if you just look very carefully into each mold, and if you see a little bubble, that's just a bit of something in there. But if you see a bubble, I just stuck my finger into this one. If you see a bubble, go in with this nice soft edge and just scoop around the side. I'll just do that. I'll just go around the edge there very gently because I don't want to overflow anything. I mean, I can't see any bubbles, but I just put one there. But I'm just going to go around really carefully along that edge because I don't want any bubbles along this edge of my coaster there on this one. Go around. And around. Oh, I forgot the middle one. You guys are all going, you forgot the middle. I always do. I forget the middle. And I've got a little bit of resin left over. Woohoo! Look at that. You're all going, you forgot the middle. Use your leftover resin on it, aren't you? I know. All right, here we go. Little teensy weensy one. Little pendant. Little keychain. Whatever you want to do with it. It's just a little extra. Okay, so there we go. 2 cups for the first round. 2 Australian cups is a bit different to 2 US cups. One of them's more. Not sure which one's more, but one of them's a little bit more. This one had a little bit much in it. Okay, so there we go. I'm pretty much done now. I'll just keep a check on these. Make sure there's no bubbles. And, oh, there's a couple little bubbles on that one. I'll just have to take care of that. All right, so I will be back. Sorry, that was a bit long. I'll be back tomorrow. I will have to wait 24 hours for these to cure now. But I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to go and find a dry spot outside to spray paint these whales. And I'll see you when they are ready to demold. Silly me, I forgot that I needed to put my little whales in now before it sets up. So like I said earlier, this resin has a really good working time. So I went outside, I put these on I used an old pizza box, and I put them on and I sprayed them, and then I did that and I just rolled them over and I sprayed the other side, and that was only 10 minutes or so ago. It dries really quickly. It's not coming off on my fingers, so hopefully they'll be okay. I didn't really allow any room like for displacement, so hopefully they won't take up too much space, but they shouldn't, they're only little. Okay, so now the fun part. You'll have to excuse my raining outside. I'm trying to shout over the rain. Oh my gosh, we've had rain every day. The gutters are overflowing. It's just horrendous. But yeah, it's the wet season in Queensland, so it's going to be like this for the next few months. All right, here we go. I'm going to use my little tweezers to put them in. I'm hoping that they'll sink actually. That only just occurred to me that they might float, which would be a pain. I have to come back and keep poking them in. So what I think I'll do is I'll choose an area that's got like, that's a bigger area there from the little island. So I'll pop him in there. And I might put him like over, instead of putting him right across in there, I might sort of put him over one of the first terraces. I've got plenty of room, plenty of depth there. I just got these, I got these from, oh, what was it called? Miniatures, some sort of miniatures online or something like that. So, all right, let's try. I think you can get them on Amazon as well. There we go. He's in. Is the colour going to leak off is the question. Hope not. Hope he'll be all right. I just have to make sure that he's definitely under the surface, because I don't want him poking out. This is going to be the top of the coasters, okay? With our little, oh my God, he's floating. Get down. Oh, that's going to be a pain, isn't it? I'm going to have to come back every 15 minutes and poke them down while the resin's setting, and hopefully he'll stay where he's told. All right, let's do the next one. I'm going to do one on each one. Kind of half on that first terrace and half off. Oi, get down. It's not like I can glue them in, is it? No. I guess the only thing you could do is put down a really thin layer of resin first, stick them down, or maybe a bit of Mod Podge or something like that, wait for it to dry and then do this. But I never thought of that. I didn't realise that they were going to float. So, never mind. I'll make it work. I'll just have to come back and push them down every few minutes until the resin is cured enough to hold them. And there's a few bubbles there rising up. No! Get back down! Oh my gosh! It's never as easy as you expect, is it, guys? You guys are all probably laughing at me now, going, yeah, we thought they'd float. Oh. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's them done for now. Like I said, I'll just pop back every few minutes or so while the resin's curing. Pop them back down, pop any bubbles that are coming up with them. And yeah, don't they look cute though? They look so pretty. Really happy with it. And then again, make sure you're getting any little bits and pieces out, because it's really transparent and you'll see anything that's in there. So get everything out. This one's rolling over. Get the bubbles off. At least the colour's staying on them. I was kind of worried that the colour was all going to leach off them, but that hasn't happened. So yay, that's something, isn't it? Alright, I'll leave it at that, and I will come back and see you tomorrow once the whales have set. Once this coating has set, we'll flip them over, we'll unmold them, we'll flip them over, and we'll fill the cavities with sand. Yay! And then they'll be done. Right, see you tomorrow. Righto guys, it's the next day. I'll take the lid off. It's just a plastic container that I use for a lid there to keep the dust off. Now, I must say that I struggled with keeping these little whales under the surface. If I had thought about it like the day before, or, you know, even a couple of days earlier, when I was mixing up some resin for something else, I would have just dropped a little bit of resin on the bottom of each of those, stuck my whales in, put them aside until I was ready to come back, because I kept on having to poke them down, and as a result there's a few little bubbles on top, little micro bubbles, and because the resin was thickening, as I was pushing it down, I couldn't get them out. So that's something I've learned, and hopefully you guys can take that from me. Oh look, it's out! Woohoo! Oh my gosh, woohoo! Glad it's working beautifully. I don't know what I was expecting. A whale to be stuck in the bottom or something. Anyway, but look, I'll no doubt do these again because I've got lots of the little whales, and I was a bit upset that I've got those bubbles. So I will do it again. And yeah, like I said, I'll just come along, pop a little bit of resin in there, stick my whale in there, put it aside for another day. Let's move these out of the way because I don't need this mold anymore. It's done its job. Done its job beautifully. Goodbye, mold. Until next time. Where will I put you? Over there. So, no bubbles at all. You know how I showed you that one previously that had a heap of bubbles in it? No, not one bubble. So, this is going to be the backs of our coasters. So I'll put them like that. Because now I'm going to fill these in with sand. Look at that one. Isn't it cute? Now, as you can see with this one, it's clear on the outside there, the exterior. If you wanted to have sand there as well, when you go pouring your sand in, take it right up to the edge and just dome it over the top. But I didn't want that. I wanted it to be clear on the bottom there and along the edge just to look really different. Right, so there's our molds. We're ready to go. I've made up, it's the 360 plus because I wanted to set up nice and quickly so I can have the final result this evening. So I did 150 grams of A and 65 grams of B. So that gave me 215 grams. So let's pour some sand in. I'm not quite sure how much I need, so I'll just add it slowly. Because the sand is heavy, it's going to drop. So probably, yeah, I probably need to put a little bit in, do the next layer, maybe sprinkle it on so that I can get it in each little layer. I don't know, I probably need a bit more than that. We shall see, hey. I don't think it's like mica powder that it can only, you know, take that much of mica powder. The sand is different. Like I said, it's just going to drop down. Now, I want to spray again to make sure I don't get any bubbles. I think because, see, the sand's all gone to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is like sort of try and, actually I might use a spoon. So if I can scrape some of the bottom sand up. So I don't want to make it just totally sand and just a little bit of resin, do I? That's a bigger spoon. Let me get a smaller spoon. Oh. No, that one's got paint on it. Hang on. That'll do. That'll do. All right, let's start over here. Spray. Grab some of that sand. I'm spilling. There's my little baby wipe. I need a little baby wipe. Can't do without my baby wipes because I'm a messy resiner. There we go. Give it a stir. Get some of that sand from the bottom. I'll try and get a little bit of sand in each of those terraces. Not, you know, I'm not fussed if they're not 100% soaked, so to speak, in the sand. They can be a little bit sort of translucent. And just a hint of sand. I'm okay with that too. What's that? And then if I need to, I can add a little bit more sand into my resin. Okay, I think I'll put a little bit more in here. But what you could, actually what I might do, let's see if I can do this. See if we can actually like sprinkle some over.
Which I might have to wait until I've got resin in there. Let's do that first. Let's put the resin in first. Oh gosh, you're full. Trial and error, you guys. When you've got a new mold to play with, it's trial and error, hey? And hopefully not too much of the error. Oh, I forgot the little one. I always forget the little one. Concentrate so much on these big ones and forget the little ones. All right, I'm just going to grab my sand here and just sprinkle a little bit over. It'll drop down, and if it doesn't, I'll just poke it, but it should just drop down. That way I can be guaranteed to get a bit of sand on each terrace, hey? That's a good idea, isn't it? Full of good ideas today, I am. This one's a bit full. I might have to take a bit out of that one. They don't hold, like they don't need a lot of resin for this second layer. It's the first layer that uses up most of it. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough to play with. And a little bit for you. Add a little bit more if you need to. That hasn't gone quite to the edges there, so I'll just add a tiny bit more. There we go. Oh, it's looking so pretty. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like when I flip it over. See the other side. I'm just putting some sand along the very edges there to get that outside terrace, because the terraces aren't very deep, so the sand, you know, it wants to just go to its lowest point, so I don't want it all just falling into the center. So we'll just do that. And this one, did I already do this one? I can't remember. Just put a little bit on wherever you think it needs it. This one's got a little bit too much resin. I'm going to have to go into the... But after you've done this, now you can just pop your spoon in and just sort of take a little bit of resin out. So I've got that tiny bit left. Not fussed on that. That's fine. I'd rather have a little bit left than not enough, hey? So now I'm just going to take a little bit out. Because... it's been displaced by the sand that I've added. So it was level and now I've added the extra sand and now it's kind of doming. And I don't really want that center there to dome. Made a bit of a mess, haven't I, with my sand? That's okay. I'm having fun. I'm playing with it. So what you can do, if you do end up making a little dome in the center there, I mean, you try not to, because it's going to be the back and it might be a little bit wobbly, but you can put like a top coat on the whole thing. I probably would prefer not to do that, just in case you get any sort of dripping down the sides there. I think this is probably the best way of doing it, like this, and then I'll just need to go and tidy up my sides. Didn't realize I put so much in. All right, there we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just going to go around. When you're tidying something up, always push back in rather than push out, if you know what I mean. Push back into your resin. I'm just going to tidy up all that sand. And then I'll come back with a clean baby wipe and just make sure that I've got all the resin off the edge there in case I've spilt any. That one's looking good. And I'm walking on sand. I've obviously spilled it on the floor. Oh, I'm going to have to vacuum. It's not much to tidy up really. I mean, I'm just getting that sand off the edges there, just so you can see the final result. Just give it a quick wipe. And I will have to go over it again just in case I've left any like resin smear marks. You don't want that. So I'll get a clean baby wipe in a minute and spray some alcohol on it, and then just go around the edges again. Just to make sure I haven't got any smears. All right. That's looking good. Now the little one, I think I'll pick him up to do him. Couldn't fit a whale in this one, so it'll just be a cute little pendant or a keychain or whatever it is that you want him to be. You can just sit there. Actually, I might put a little bit more resin on this one just to dome him. Because there's really not much of an edge over there on this one. So I'll just take that resin right over the top there like that. Perfect. And then we're doming. Alrighty. So that's pretty much it done. Let me just wipe my hands. And now I'm going to give it a quick spray. Well, not a quick spray, a quick little burst. Now I don't need to worry about melting my silicone mold because I don't have a silicone mold on here. It's just resin. Although you can burn your resin, so be aware of that. All right, now I think what I'm going to do, now I just want to make sure that now that I've wiped it all, I want to make sure that I've got enough in here, because I've taken a little bit away now. Just want to make sure that I've got enough. All the surfaces are covered nicely. All right. So there's a few little bits of sand that are kind of popping through the surface, so I need to poke them down. They're kind of floating. They're only little bits of sand, so they're kind of floating, so I just need to push them down. We can take a little bit more actually. I need to go and spend a bit of time poking all those little bits of sand down that are floating. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk that sand would float, hey? All right, now I'm just going to, I'll finish tidying up, wipe the edges, and then I will see you all tomorrow. And we'll turn them over and see what they look like, hey? See what the sand looks like. Oh, glove off. Let's go and have a little look. Excuse my messy sand. Now you can see there's a few little bits of sand there kind of sitting on the top. You can see breaking the surface. Those are the ones I just need to sort of push down. But like I said, this is going to be the back, so you're not going to see this. How pretty is it looking? So pretty. I might add a little bit more sand to the edges there. I probably shouldn't have put any more resin in then, should I? Anyway, I'm going to have a little play with it just for a few minutes before my resin goes off, because this resin sets up real quick. And then, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll flip them over and see what happens. See you soon. It's that time. They are ready. They're set. It's just a few hours later. Right. Now the other thing, if you do have some raised areas, and I went and put more sand on the top, just use, and you need to use little dots anyway. You know those little silicone sort of bumper feet things that you put in your drawers and your overhead cupboards and things like that so they don't slam shut. It's all different sizes. Probably the flatter, sort of more bigger ones would have been better, but anyway, these are what I got. So now with these, put them on the sand, otherwise you'll be able to see them. Sort of work out where you want them to go. You don't want them to go into this clear area here. And I think I'll do, just put them on the edges. It does stick really nicely to the resin. I just put 4 on, like that. And there we go. We should have a nice flat surface when we turn it over, and also protect your furniture, won't it? All right, are we ready? Oh, it's so exciting. Let's have a little look. Ah, look, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Wow. We need to look at it over here without anything behind it, hey? Like that. Probably a white surface maybe. Let's have a closer look. Look at the sand. Got a little bit of transparency there. I probably could have put more sand in it, but I just wasn't sure, you know, my first time. But it's more clear on the top there where it's shallower water, and then it's darker down the bottom here in the deeper water. And there's our little whale. Let's see if we can see the little layers, our little terraces. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It was super easy to do. Just fill in the top with your light tint, and then fill up the other side with sand. So pretty basic. And then let's see what they look like with the little rubber feet there, little rubber stoppers. Yep, works perfectly. Look at that. Beautiful. So each terrace is a little different shape. It's got, you know, different little terraces in it. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. It's just so coastal and cool and tropical looking, isn't it? Very nice. And here's our little one as well. No whale in him, but he looks really pretty too. You could put a little bail on the back there, a little glue on bail, and hang it around your neck, or you can use it as a key ring. Either way would work, hey? I'm going to put bumpers on all of these. I can't show you my first ones I did with the white, like the ice ones, the glaciers, because they were sold. So I don't have them to show you, but you can see the video of how I made those. So there we go. Now go around the back of the camera so I don't reach in front of you. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, let me know what you think of these. And yeah, I've also got the square coasters as well, in the matching like these as well, but they're square. So if you prefer square, you can grab that set, or you can grab a set of both, hey, of either ones. Let's pop some more little dots on. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And oh, I've got these molds are on sale at the moment, just until Christmas. We get 10% off. So if you want one, they are in my store. Grab one quickly before the sale ends. 10% off. And if you do make some of these, the coasters, I'd love to see what you did. So if you're not already a member, join Pouring Your Heart Out Facebook group, and I'd love to see your finished coasters of what you've done. Hey, all right, thank you again for watching, and I will see you real soon for the next video. If you've got any ideas of other things you'd like to see with these coasters, let me know, because I'd like to do more things with them. I really love them. I think they're so different to any other coaster that's out there. Hey, so pretty. That sand looks so natural. Love it. All right, gotta go. Thanks again. See you real soon for the next video. Bye for now.